Lost Art with Andrew Cox, retired Master Gunnery Sergeant. thelostart.podbean.com. Get some merchandise and help support the podcast in getting our veteran voices out for all to hear. Now on all major podcast platforms. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Be a guest, tell your veteran story, discuss your veteran business or organization. Email The Lost Art with Andrew Cox at gmail.com. Andrew Cox, a Till Valhalla Project Ambassador. See the project story at tillvalhallaproject.com. Thanks for tuning in. Please enjoy the podcast that's giving a voice to our veterans. The Lost Art with Andrew Cox.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Lost Art Podcast, that podcast giving a voice to our veterans. I'm your host, Andrew Cox, and we are having a fireside chat with Jamie Hamner. But before we get into the episode, are you enjoying the podcast? And go to the Lost Art website. That's the lostart.podbean.com. Go check it out, see what we're all about. There is a merchandise tab there. You can click on that. You can go get you some cool gear, a hat, a shirt, a mug, something like that. Help support us in getting our veteran voices out for all to hear. Also, a big shout out to the Till Valhalla Project for allowing me to be an ambassador for that amazing organization. If you don't know anything about them, I encourage you to go to their website. That's tillvalhallaproject.com. Go check them out. They do some incredible things, and if you can help them, please do so. All right, with that, I got Jamie Hamner here. Jamie, how you doing?
Hey, buddy, doing good.
I got to be honest, I'm a little jealous of your beard. It's
Oh,
looking
man.
good.
Well, it's got a short lifespan. It's I'm pretty sure I'm going to wake up with half of it shaved off here soon.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, that's not good.
No. Yeah, the missus told, well, you know, my wife's also a retired bandsman,
Yeah.
a gunny, and
Yeah.
it's not so much the beard; it's just she married a Marine without a beard.
Yeah.
But I've gotten away with murder so far.
All right. Well, yeah, like I said, it looks good on you.
Thanks,
I
buddy.
like it. Yeah. I'm hoping to get it a little bit longer, like you got it there at least. It'll fill out eventually, I'm sure, but it'll be good.
There. Yeah, we're trying to do the natural. All my other Marines, the bearded veteran group, they're like, you got to take these gummies, and I'm like, this is all natural, man. If I took gummies, I'd be like that some kind of beast running around in the forest. Which might be a cool gig too. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it could be. Yeah, you're right. Well, hey, let's kind of start at the beginning for you, like where you grew up, and then, of course, what drew you into service, and then we can kind of walk through that real quick.
Sure. Yeah, well, I grew up in a little town in Central Valley, California, called Lemoore.
Okay.
Little town, had a Navy base, Lemoore Military Station on it, so we were always familiar with the military. I mean, all my friends were military. I'm surprised I didn't turn into a Filipino, because that's at that time when I was younger. That's when we part of the Filipinos could join the Navy.
Oh, right, yeah.
From the Philippines, get their citizenship. Mm-hmm. So I was surrounded by great food, great people. But grew up a band nerd like most. It was just great. It's not for everybody. It's you get it. It's not the title everyone can bear, but proud of it. But did that my whole pretty much my whole childhood.
Okay.
Was good at it, and then it came, high school decision time. What do you do? Well, I was going to go to college. I was going to go to the University of Pacific, a conservatory in there. They had scholarships and all that, but I think I would have been fine, but the problem for me was I was just tired of school. I mean, I just did, 12 years, 13 with kindergarten, and I'm like, man. And a buddy of mine was joining the Marines that had the buddy program, and I'm like, well, this sounds kind of cool. My parents were furious in there, but I went past the audition. Went, and then my buddy got sick. Couldn't deploy. He couldn't ship with me. So I'm like, dude, you got me into this, and now you're not even. I saw him like a month later in another platoon. I was in third phase. He was in second phase, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. But my intent was just do 4 years, take a break. But back then it was a different program. I mean, there was no. You didn't just join the band. You you join the Marine Corps.
Right.
Then you audition. So I was supposed to be an electrician. So I thought, well, hey, worst case scenario, I've got a good job.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it was a 6-year term. Took the audition, passed. Then told my parents. They were really hot because then I was in. I got the band thing. I did my 4 years. I think what did we do? I got injured at the schoolhouse, so I got to stay at that lovely place a little longer than I intended.
Yeah.
But
and how was that back then? What year was that when you were at the schoolhouse?
90. I got to the schoolhouse in December of 92.
Okay, December
and
92.
just wonderful leadership. Captain Andy Ondal. I had Master Guns Covington at the time. It was Gunnery Sergeant Eccles. Jim Buckler went into the Army side. Just one of the beautiful perks, though, I got of that as much as I didn't want to be at the school because I was there to go and travel the world and see things. That was the whole purpose. Do my 4 years because the college was willing to. They said, "It's great. Come and see us. We'll hold your scholarship. Because you're going to come back with experience and maturity, and that's a good thing." So I was going to do 4 years, come back home, become some kind of in a playing a symphony or something. You're that or become a history teacher. If I couldn't be a band nerd, I was going to be I'm a big history buff. Love history.
I like it.
But 4 years, I finally got out of the schoolhouse. But why I was there, as terrible as it was to be injured, because you don't want to be stuck at the schoolhouse. But I did of the Marine Corps through my time from the Rich Bean, Drum Major Bean, the Crimmins, Mike Powell, just so you name it, Louis Arce. As I was there, I graduated the course, but I was stuck there until they could medically release me. So they would just had me helping out and everything. And but I literally saw the entire future of the Ock field without knowing it.
Wow. Yeah, those are some pretty heavy hitter names within our Ock field. So
funny you said heavy hitters because they were because I got promoted there. And boy, did they hit me. Yeah. Woo. That was man, what was I can't remember his name. He probably hit me so hard it knocked his name out of my memory forever. Skip Walden. A big old giant trombone. But the guy had to be 10 feet tall. At least he looked like it to me. I'm pretty sure he put me into Tomorrow when he hit me.
Yeah.
But it did okay, But when I got out, went to Okinawa. And at the time, Oki was just a 1-year tour. But I felt a little robbed from being stuck at the school. So I stayed in Oki for about 3 years. Just so I could learn and get that experience. And it worked out. And then it was time for a re-enlistment, but I was having fun. I was getting paid to make music. And when we were in Okinawa, we were privileged to, we were there during the 5th anniversary of, Iwo Jima. And so we got to see we actually got to redo pretty much most of the island hopping campaign, all the way down from New Zealand, all the way up that little. Thought we were going to die on Palau when that C9 landed because that's a big plane for that little strip of land. And, but that Guam, obviously Okinawa, and just all the way up to those different islands. But when we did the 5th as a Iwo, they flew in all of the veterans. And to watch that many planes, all the big planes just coming down and the veterans coming out in all their wheelchairs, and it was very humbling. To see that. But re-enlisted, loved it. Knew that I probably wouldn't go back to college, so it was a career for me at that point. And But then it was back to the School of Music, had to do the slick course.
Right. Yeah.
Things you could take back in your life. If I knew I was going to become a future repairman, I never would have done the slick course.
Yeah.
I can only count and clap in one and two in my head for so much. That has nothing to do with repairs, but we did the school, and then it was division, and I love division.
Oh, nice.
Just second more div.
Okay. Yeah.
That's where I grew up in the Marine Corps. That's, again, fine leadership. Bobby Stepp, Phil Neal, Mike Lillard, and John Rao. All these just heavy hitters in there. So I was blessed to be surrounded by some pretty good leadership over the years in there. That you literally you make the guys who tried to mentor you proud. I don't know if you ever knew Doug Couch, trumpet player. Doug Couch was the gunny I wanted to become. Yeah, he spent a lot of time, trumpet player, spent most of his time in Okie. Just a phenomenal leader, humble, literally get the shirt off your back to help you. A great mentor in there. I think he might have helped plant the seed into a little bit of the repair side, because just how he ran the supply shop in his treatment of the Marines. And he was just a very, very good leader. But from Okie, it was, like I said, it was a school, it was a division, and then at division, I got, I was learning, and I ran into my big mentor to who I became was Chris McNally. Gun McNally.
Oh, okay.
And we call Gunny McNally the MagTaff repairman, because he kept bouncing back and forth from Cherry Point to Lejeune in there for I don't know how many times. But
very nice.
But I remember when I became a repairman, in my mind, I was apprenticing with him, and someone got it before me, Mark Kincaid. But he was ahead of me. It was his turn, and I kept apprenticing with Chris. But but at the time I had already done the slick course, so they threw me out drum major and a few things, a little conducting, and it was great. Anytime you can lead Marines is great.
Absolutely, yeah.
But it wasn't my calling. It was the conducting. It was fine. Drum major, and it was fine. But playing. I mean, playing was great. But divisions, as you well know, 6 gigs a day.
Yeah.
And every 2 years you hear the same speech, because now you're doing that guy's change of command again, and he's thinking his Dog Willie, his Goldfish Bob, and you're like, oh my God, it's this guy again. And but the plan was great, and there were some, when I was coming in, in California, I would say that I was probably a big fish in a small pond as a player. I think my claim to fame, and my civilian friends chuckle about it. The Marine friends don't, but I told them, I said, I was the strongest third clarinet player in the Marine Corps. I was loud. I mean, I could march, and I wasn't a remarkable virtuoso clarinet. I had to fight for everything I got, and that, when you're playing with the caliber of musicians that the Marine Corps produces. That's a tough pill to swallow in there. And I was like, but I know I'm good at repair. I need to be a better musician. And it was remarkable how much better of a musician I became when I became the repair guy, because there was no more pressure.
Wow. Yeah.
I just got to play and have fun. And all of a sudden you grow, and you're like, well, what the heck? Why couldn't you have done that 4 years ago? But I remember the day I in my mind, it was a solid, you're going to become a repairman, Hamner. That's it. We were heading down the road to do the 2 MEF change of command.
Okay.
This was under Buck Bedard. Now, Buck was a remarkable leader, 2-star, one of my all-time favorite generals. Just, he was like Chesty Puller reincarnated. He just had that.
Oh, nice.
thing about him, man, he was great. And but we knew it was gonna be long. Mechanized. He had, and we're walking down there in Kevlars and Deuce gear, and I'm like, dude, we are in the band. What? This is crazy. But and it's like 100 degrees. And we're cruising down the road there. We've already sweat through our camis before we even started.
Yeah.
And as we get close to the parade deck, we watched them lower the black flag and pop the red one up so we could do the ceremony. And in my mind, I went, Chris is in the repair shop, air conditioned, probably watching a movie because we've already done all the work. And I went, I'm going to do that gig.
Yeah.
Because that's a great gig in there. And, but you had to fight for that gig because it did have a bad reputation. That's where people who couldn't play would go hide.
Right. Yeah.
I have met some of those. But I was trying to change that. We could do better. We could still be strong leaders from that, even though, because when people ask what I did down the road, I tell them, well, look, in the Marine Corps, the repair guy, you are the red-headed, three-eyed stepchild. It is what it is. Yeah, you accept it. You wear that badge with honor. I said, but without you, there was no Marine band. Everything you saw that was cool about a Marine, the sound, not the plane. That's them. That's all them. But the equipment, the uniforms, the logistics, anything that had to do without anything besides the plane, that was the repair guys in there. Right, and I thought, dude, this is great. And so it was a wonderful career, and I did it for a long, long time. It wasn't about rank because we had a very tight promotion pyramid.
Oh yeah.
You had to wait till somebody died or retired to get up there, and but I was okay with that. I always said it's something we always, I told the people, I said, guys, it's not fair. I said it wasn't fair that I picked up rank so fast. I don't think some of my peers on each side of me, I don't think there were some lots of attitude against clarinet players, flute players. It's not our fault. It wasn't their fault. They had the Marine Corps couldn't keep them, so they promoted them.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You were promoting based on instrument at that point.
That's right.
Yeah,
and they got promoted quick. I didn't agree with it, but what are you going to do?
You're not going to turn it down.
No, I'm good. Give me some more time, guys. No, so a lot of problems that, and I know it wasn't personal attacks. It was, you get a corporal who's been a corporal for 8 years, and then you get a clarinet player who comes in and he's a sergeant in 3.
Yeah.
I get it. I do. But I was like, there was a lot of dealing with that because I did get promoted.
Oh, for sure.
Until I became a repairman.
Yeah. And it slowed way down.
Oh, it stopped. I got gunny after I retired repair school or graduated repair school, and I never saw another promotion in 10 years.
Wow. 10 years. No.
Yeah. At one point, when I retired, they pulled up the Ockfield, the 5500, and it just shows everybody. It shows you where you fall. Because people ask me, they're like, "Hey, man, when did you know it was time to retire?" And I say, "Well, when you lose your filter." Because at some point in time, there's going to be people who are very young who are now your officers or who are charged, people you trained.
True.
And they get these things, and but one day they're going to say something that 5 years ago you just like, yes sir, no problem. 18, 19 years in, you might let something slip out that you normally wouldn't have said. Call him an idiot. I didn't mean it, but you are. But because I always told the people the real responsibility. I mean, all the bandsmen did great. They all worked their butts off. They all, whatever job they were in.
Yeah.
The repair guys, they're honestly my biggest job, I would say, was keep the band officer out of prison.
Yeah.
Because you're dealing with money.
A lot of money too.
We have band officers wanting to go, go to the exchange and buy, take the government purchase card and go buy garment bags. Can't do that.
Yeah.
But they would do it, and then would get their card stripped away, or they go swipe, rent a charter bus because they wanted a specific company. And I'm like, guys, you can't. This is money. So that was a big responsibility for the repair guys, and that's tough. And then if I don't know if you ever saw it or dealt with it, but I know you did, but band officers flex a little bit on the company commander because we fall under the chief, the general, and then there's that, and then we get in trouble. And who has to go smooth over the waters? Either the master gunny or the repair guy.
That's right.
You would go deal with the chief of staff, and I'd go to the budget office and go, I'm sorry. But it wasn't you. I know, but I'm still sorry. But I still need $10,000 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, I like you, so all right. But you tell your guy. What do you want me to tell my guy, my girl? They're a chief warrant officer. I don't care. I just need to get the band from here to the next gig and smile. That's right. All we do. It's here. But no, it was a very rewarding career. I believe my career, of all the jobs that the Marine Corps offers, I think the repairman had the best availability of an instant gratification job. When you got literally the day after I retired, I was in my home repair shop.
Yeah.
Doing work. A lot of our comrades and ours don't get that opportunity in there. But it also helped with a good a piece of, I didn't have that depression a lot of folks deal with when they retire, that when what's next, or I didn't have time. That was 2011, and my business hasn't stopped since.
Now you retired down where exactly are you at?
Parris Island.
You're down there, okay?
Yeah, we retired in Parris Island, and we moved still close. I live in Ridgeland, South Carolina now, in there, and I don't mind people, but I don't want to be around them all the time. And Beaufort and Bluffton and Hilton Head it's exploded, and it's there's so many people now, and you're like, man, I just want a little peace and quiet. And Ridgeland offers it for now. The city planner told me, goes, cool, 5 years. I said, what? Get about 5 years.
Oh my gosh.
And we're the next explore. I'm like, dude, I don't want to move again. I just
you're just gonna have to keep moving further and further away.
Pretty soon I'll be back in California. No, it's been rewarding. Like I said, but after that, I blame my wife. She gets mad. I work a lot, and she when she got out, she was one of the ones, a few that she started a charter school band program, and then she transitioned into a high school. Now she's a high school band director. And I hurt some people's feelings when they say this, and I try not to. I'm like, guys, it's not an attack on you. I said, but you went to college, and then you all became band directors.
Yeah.
My wife did 20 years in the Marines, cut her teeth, conducted 12 years, conducted some of the best musicians in the world, trained under some of the best conductors in the world. So when I say she conducts circles around you all, it's not an insult. It's a fact. She's a remarkable conductor. So we have that atmosphere. I stuck doing what I do. I saw a need. Repairs. These big national companies taking advantage of parents. I'm in a military town.
Mm-hmm.
I understand our budget concerns, and in a district that doesn't have money anyway. And
Mm-hmm.
I went, I don't need the money. At the time, I needed nothing. I was living in my house. It was great.
Yeah.
But I remember I took over the great room, the formal room, the dining room, the upstairs bedroom, part of the garage. And she said, well, it's great. You got to go.
Yeah.
So that prompted us becoming Hamner Music. It was just a repair shop. I wanted nothing to do with a music store.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my thing. 15 years later, it's still not my thing. But the community enjoys it. Who am I to say no?
Yeah.
I will tell you, I've been blessed. Music has been good to us, both of us, to all of us, who's got to experience this. And this was just a way to pay it back and pay it forward into future generations. I probably have given away more than I've ever sold at this point. Things happened and opportunities arose, especially before I knew I was in the music store. I look back now and like, dude, I gave probably tens of thousands of dollars of instruments away because I was never going to sell them, but I had to store them. Well, let's give them away because then I don't have to store this stuff. But with the music, the local directors asked, hey, will you sell reeds? No, because if I start selling reeds, then I have to get a retail license. And now I'm a store. They talked me into it. And then it's just been a 10-year, 12-year journey at this point of just try to support this local area, keep away the big bad retail stores that I said, we can do better. We can, music's important. But I would tell you, I don't know if you've seen it, but music is the first thing that gets attacked in this country.
Oh, yeah.
In the programs and a society without music and arts, it's just a dead society to me. So whatever we can do to help, that's what we do. Our store, like I said, we're the only show in town that does what we do. We do rentals, we do repair work. So no one can beat my time, my turnaround time. It's top. I have top-notch players who come in. We have professionals from all over the country stop by. They know they're going to get stuff done right. We work with some phenomenal nonprofit organizations. There's a phenomenal jazz club. If you're ever down in there on Hilton Head, called the Jazz Corner. It's that 70s jazz club vibe, but without all the smoke. No smoking allowed, but some of the best musicians in the world get invited to this place. And we have the honor and privilege of being involved in Bob Messeller and his family, Lois Messeller and Davey Messeller. They started the Junior Jazz Foundation. And so people donate instruments from all over the country. They come to the jazz club. They see the sign. They go, oh, well, I have a saxophone. Well, so they're collecting all these horns. Well, they had storage lockers full. They had all these horns, but no repairmen. And then Lois found it. And that was probably a good 10 years ago. And the relationship, it's been just a blast since. I'm just honored to be part of them because we fix the horns. They give them to me. I fix them. I tell you, they pay for the parts. I donate my labor, and then we place the horns in kids or schools' hands who can't afford instruments.
Right.
So it's a very rewarding program. So I've been blessed in that everything we've been able to do. It's a very rewarding experience.
Absolutely, yeah.
But all started with the Marine Corps. And it led this, or I guess you could say it started with my third grade Mrs. Gaines, my third grade band director, who wouldn't let me quit. I tried so many times because she made me play trumpet. I'm not a trumpet player.
Yeah,
I hated it, and I tried to quit like 6 times, and then finally they gave me a clarinet, and like within a week, I think I was better than the other clarinet players who had been playing for 6 months.
Wow.
It was just. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm not going to quit. and I asked my parents, I said, hey, why didn't you let me quit? And they said, well, we were going to have one band kid. I said, but you let my brother and sister quit? Sean and Tiana, they're like, well, we had our one. We knew you were going to. Now, they didn't know I was going to join the Marine Corps, but but just a blessing. It's just been a blessed one. I mean, the Marine Corps, we always kid. I got issued a wife.
Yeah.
In there, it's just been a remarkable career. The friends, lifetime friends.
Yeah, for sure.
In there, but don't know them now. All these new ones, I go and watch concerts and I'm like, I might know that drummer. But man, they're all new faces.
I just retired this year and went to the Marine Corps Musicians Ball here on the East Coast.
Oh yeah.
And I there was probably half of them I didn't know. And I was working at the schoolhouse. You think I would know them all? I was like, yeah, I don't know all these guys. Yeah. I knew the more senior guys, but some of the junior guys, I'm like, yeah, I have no idea who this is.
Yeah. I always makes me laugh because but they'll know you, and then I'm like, well, now I feel bad. How do you know me? Oh, your picture's still in the repair shop. I'm like, we'll take it down. That doesn't need to be there.
That's funny. Yeah. So as you started getting ready for retirement, the transition for you, because you were already working out of your house doing stuff as well before you retired, right?
Yes, I was volunteering for the schools. The schools were in trouble.
Okay.
And I knew they were in trouble. And I didn't know that I was going to become a business, but I knew that I was going to try to support the community. Quite honestly, I mean, I have failed miserably because when I retired, I was going to become a remarkable fisherman.
Yeah.
And I think I have fished twice since 2011.
You're failing miserably at that.
Yeah, it's horrible, but it's such, I mean, I didn't get to fish as much. I did partner up with another, I love this area because although I'm not in the Marine Corps, I'm surrounded by thousands of retired, of all ranks and age and services. We were, the Marines is the best there is. We're in the Marine Corps, no doubt. The other service, but when you retire, or when I was getting close to retirement, all service is good.
Yeah,
it didn't matter. You served good on you because not everybody does. And but when we were in, just don't talk to me about the Army or just stop. Y'all are crazy. I actually, when I went to MEPS, when I first got approached, I forgot to say this. It wasn't for the Marine Corps.
Really?
The Army grabbed me.
Okay.
Because they offered me so much money, it was insane. Oh, you're a clarinet player? Oh, the numbers are. I'm like, holy moly! Wait. But I got to MEPS, and I was walking by the Marine, and I was overhearing a conversation, but they had the drum and bugle corps playing on the video.
Oh yeah.
And I thought, oh man, look at that. I knew that's not what I was going to do, but I was like, but man, I'm going to be part of that. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
And then I didn't even know what they were talking about, but they were talking about, no Marine left behind, and they were telling this story. I think now I know that they were talking about the Chosen Reservoir, and about we did not leave, and we fought our way out, but we didn't leave anybody behind. And I'm listening to this going, and I'm looking at the Army guy, and he's getting mad because I think he already knew. I started talking to the Marine recruiter, and that's where I signed up. He was so mad, he left me. The Marines had to take me home. You there? He was done. I'm like, yeah, it is. I got home.
Very nice.
I think my mom was almost okay with me joining the Army, but not the Marine Corps.
Yeah, well, the Marine Corps does have a little bit of a different reputation at times.
Yeah. So, and I told her, Mom, it'll be fine. It's gonna be good. They're gonna make me better. That's what they promise. We'll take anybody. We'll take anybody. We're going to break you. We're going to treat you all the same.
That's right.
and then we're going to grow you into that fighting machine. And what a wonderful journey. And they weren't wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Not wrong in one bit in there. I said, we all have gripes, but the older I get, the less those gripes are become, because those, anything at the time, it was real serious at the time. But now I look at it and go, man, because we always said is, play the cards you're dealt. It's not, it's not always fair.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
But if you play the cards you dealt, your growth keeps happening.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do it. Hey, I didn't get that promotion. Yeah, was I hot then? Sure.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. We all have a role in this life in
Mm-hmm.
there, and not just yours. The hundreds, thousands, whatever exposure people that you have an impact on that you don't even know.
Right. Yeah.
What you're doing now, having a huge impact. You're having an impact on people, and you don't even know who they are. They're just listening, and you could, be changing their lives. It's important.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we just got to make sure we don't dwell on that little tiny stuff. I just, because I even said, I said, guys, would I made a good master sergeant, master gunny? Maybe. But I think I was a very strong gunny.
Mm-hmm.
And I was good with that in there. It's I would have hated if I became a master sergeant and I was lacking.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
That if that would have happened, that you got to live with that. But when I left, I knew, all right, I think I did okay. I did okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I've created repairmen in my nothing like Chris McNally, man. He was like a gremlin. We needed a repairman, pour a little water on him. Hair popping off. I was like, that guy created more repair guys than anybody I know. Really? I tried, but I just.
Well, who were some of the repair techs that were under you that you kind of saw come up?
Oh, we had Monty Clark.
Okay, Clark, yeah.
Yep. Gary Gilbert.
Okay, yeah.
Martha Tracy, former Arbaugh.
Yeah.
Kate went up to the president's own. Katie.
I'm not sure who that is.
I forgot her name now. Yeah, she trained under me. But yeah, we knew them all. They were great. And I grew up under Paul Bianchi.
Oh yeah, Bianchi. Yeah.
Was it Bob Purnell? Purnell. Champagne Art.
Yeah.
Just but Chris, man, they're good people. But there was also what we were having a time. It was so bizarre. And when you're a staff sergeant, I mean, a staff sergeant is a very middle management. That's a good rank to have. I said, but you can't have influence on the master gunny and the master sergeant so much in there. But something I was seeing was. And I don't know if it was just through the whole Banfield or if it was just the repairmen were stubborn, but we kind of had the West Coast, East Coast thing happen. And I was East Coast. 4 bands in California. I'm from California, and the Marine Corps couldn't get me to California.
Yeah. In
my entire career. I'm like, how is that possible, guys? But that's just how it played out.
Yeah.
But so when I would argue, not an ego thing. I would tell you, because I actually went out and did it and have a repair shop, and this is what I do for a career. That I was a good repairman in there. I didn't care that I wasn't the greatest clarinetist. If I would have been a terrible clarinetist and then became a terrible repairman, that's something. But we made it. But I did enough. But I was strong enough and knew enough of what we do to that, I even as a young, I think I just got promoted to gunny, and we were already up rewriting the band manual.
Nice. Yeah.
And I'm like, where's the master gunny and the master sergeant? Why am I here? Because where we're going and what you need in there. And so it was awesome to be part of that. write those things in there and be able to have some input and influence on the. But the first thing for me was we got to scrap this East Coast West Coast nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
We are all brothers in the same fight here, and we all need to be communicating. If I need something, I'm hoping that someone on the West Coast can get it to me in a hurry.
Yeah.
But for a while there, they wouldn't even answer your phone calls. It was to me, it made no sense.
No kidding.
Yeah, and I went. It was the first time really that I went, we're a bunch of damn banders. How hard could this be? We're making this impossible. Remember what we do. Yes, we're Marines and we're good at what we do, but y'all are killing this for me because we're just squabbling over what? The West is buried. Someone didn't get to go where they wanted to go. The only time I ever turned, never, because I'm a team player. I don't care. I really wanted to go to Cali. I did.
Mm-hmm.
But the one time they called Tom Mueller.
Tom Mueller.
Tom Mueller, Headquarters Marine Corps, calls me up at the Gunny's course.
Okay.
Sergeant Major comes and gets me out of class. Hey, Headquarters on the phone. I'm like, why? Get up, go, let's go. So I go there and I'm talking, and Tom's like, hey, we need you. Oh boy, what do you need? We're running a little low on repairmen. I went, because you didn't grow the repairmen we told you to grow 2 years ago. Because, you don't just magically create a repair guy. You select them.
Yeah.
And then you have to wait till the school. And then it's a year-long school.
Yeah.
Well, now we're short. So Tom goes, well, I'm getting you to California. Really? Cool. And your wife. Huh. Okay. Well, I'm intrigued. Yeah. So here's the thing. So we're going to put her somewhere in the middle. Probably El Toro. You don't have to worry about 29 Palms. That's a little far out. We're probably in El Toro, and you're going to cover repairs for the other 3 bands.
Oh my gosh.
I said, it can't happen. It can't be done. He goes, but you could do it. I know. I mean, if anybody can do it, it's you. And I went, who's going to be my boss? I'm working for 3 bands. And he goes, all you have to do is repairs. I don't believe you.
There's no way it's just repairs.
Yeah. And can you imagine the driving? And then I went,
I know.
When am I going to see my wife? So I was like, Tom, you cut me those orders. I said, I'll have to deny those orders. Now, granted, I got the sergeant major of the school, the staff cabinet, and he's turning all kinds of colors. I'm talking. I'm just like, hey, Tom, I appreciate it, but look, man, I'm just telling you, Master Guns, I love you like a brother, but you cut me those orders, I will deny them. Because you're setting me up for failure. It can't be done. I will be the fall guy. And we hang up, and it's not a good hang up. Now we made up later and all that, but I hang up the phone, and it's probably the first, I think the only time I've ever been locked up as a staff NCO. But the sergeant major locked me to 10, chewed my butt. How dare you can't deny or you can't talk to headquarters. Who do you think you're? And then we got done. I explained to him what they were just trying to do to me. He goes, well, that's silly. Why would they ask that? And I'm like, can I go at ease? Sergeant Major, that's not me. I said, but they literally were about to. I said that had double written fitness report written all over it.
Yeah.
Because I would not have been able to do that job. And I said, and we wouldn't be in this predicament if they would have listened 2 years ago when we said we need 3 repairmen.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do it. This was their knee-jerk reaction. And he goes, man, you band guys. I said, I know. We're all jacked up. You're preaching to the choir. Can I go back to class? He goes,
I already know this.
Loved it. One change, I wouldn't trade the experience for anything, but there was a lot of growing curves.
Oh yeah,
and a lot of changes, and you got to see a lot of them here, especially in your
yeah.
in
You
there.
know, and that whole the repair side, they're going all the way to Master Gunny. There's currently, I think, two Master Gunny repair techs right now, which is pretty cool.
I predicted it when I don't think it played out the way they well, I know now that it didn't play out the way they did because they put us back in our own promotion period, apparently.
Yeah.
But I was sitting in the office with the staff, and they said this is what, well, everybody's going to be I guess, a 24.
Yeah. Basic musician. Yeah.
Yeah. And in their minds, and I think whoever drafted this, I think they truly believed that we were subpar to
I would
master
agree.
sergeants and drum majors. They thought these guys
That
would
is true.
tap out as staff sergeant. And that all happened right after I was retiring, or right at the same point. And guys, I retired. I don't care. But I said, I'm telling you, on paper, the repair guys will walk circles around any position you have, drum major. And I said, and they're all doing great work. But the repair guys are the only ones who have stats on budget, on travel orders, on you name it, hazmat, safety. We're leading Marines. A board is going to see that, and you what? And sure enough, Wiggy, Trenum, boom, Monty Clark got Master Sergeant. There's like, oh, dude, you should have stayed in. I said, God, it's your day. I had an opportunity to stay in. Talking with Dan King. Dan King was on my promotion board that year.
Oh, really?
And later told me, goes, yeah, dude, you got juiced. He says you actually never got looked at. And I said, what do you mean? And what was the number that, because with the boards, if anything isn't right, it just goes off. There's no questions.
Yeah.
Hey, why isn't this right? Nope. My Armed Forces active duty base date, that one from, I guess, that when you do maps, that very first number was so far away from everyone else's because I was that much older than everyone else.
Yeah.
They thought it was a mistake.
No.
Got put out in there. So I talked to Jeff Fagman at the time, Master Guns Fagman, and Jeff's a very good friend of mine. And he goes, it's a shoe-in, it's a guarantee. He said, but here's the thing. I got moved. Now, Debbie just came off of recruiting. She was just got off the MTA, so we're back together. Yeah. I got like 2 years left, I think, to retirement. And I had just had a shoulder surgery. I was a 30-year man until that shoulder surgery.
Yeah.
And I went, this is a young man's game. I said, I'm not going to make it to 30, but Jeff said, but he said, he says, without a doubt in my mind, you will get a remedial promotion. As soon as they announce it, I have to move you to Camp Lejeune. Now, normally, I think I would have loved to go back to Camp Lejeune, but it would have been just me. Because Debbie just became the EC at Bears Island.
Yeah, that's a big distance.
And I went, and I looked at the difference between Gunny and Master Sergeant and paid.
Yeah.
I'd have to do at least the 3 years to get the high 3. And I looked at it, and it's not a lot. It's some, but it's not a lot. But Jeff told me something really, really important. He goes, Jamie, he says, we're old. He says, honestly, is there anybody you want to go to work for? And I was going through all the leadership in my mind, and I was older than most. I think this was right before Mike Laird retired.
Yeah.
But it's not that I had anything against the leaders, but I just went, man, I'm a little tired of teaching, the leaders. Hey, this is how we run a smooth repair shop. And I said, you know what? I'm good. I said, all I ask is you let me retire out of Paris Island.
Yeah.
And y'all won't hear another thing out of me. And that was the end of my career. And I was good with it. That was good.
Okay.
And no regrets. No.
And you did what, 20 or 22?
I did 20.
20. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. 20 to the dot. And my body let me know that was a very good decision.
Yeah.
In there, because, when I was, there's a lot of crazy things happened when I stepped away from the Marine Corps when you go to repair school, you basically are a Marine dropped into a civilian setting for an entire year. It's weird. It's weird. I was like, man, I can never get out of the Marine Corps because I can't deal with these civilians. They're driving me nuts. But when I was at repair school, so it would have been, I guess, 2000. I got there in July of 2000.
Okay.
2001. Well, we know what happened in September.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you talk about feeling worthless. I mean, I'm like, because I was good. Paul Bianchi and Mark Kincaid and Chris McNally prepared me. It's the one time the Marine Corps allowed something to be done in the battlefield be done correctly. They let me train in the job. My leaders said, "You're no longer a player. Go forth and learn." And I soaked up everything I could, and they prepared me to the day I walked into Red Wing, I could have graduated their curriculum. So what that allowed me to do is, because that school is meant to train you, and then you go get hired by another shop that has a master technician there.
Yeah.
And
you
who's
kind
going
of apprentice under them.
Yes, and hone your skills.
Yeah.
We don't get that luxury. We walk right out the door, and we're working on $26,000 bassoons. So it was just, so they want to make sure I was ready, and they did. They did a wonderful job. But I remember, so I'd go. God, I think they gave me a dang. We were working on flutes at that time, and I finished my flute, and they gave me a piccolo. To this day, I still hate piccolos. It's just not my thing. So I'm working on this little thing, and I get frustrated. I kind of toss it, it bounces, and I'm like, I'm out. Well, every day at 10 o'clock, they made the most awesome cinnamon rolls at the cab. This is still when the school had a cafeteria, and they knew I was coming.
Yeah.
Clockwork. Every day you were seeing me, and she knew. Give me the corner one. Got the extra bits and the extras. Oh, she knew. And I was walking by the TV, and I saw the Pentagon smoking. And I'm like, well, that's a stupid TV show. I don't like that. That's not good. And I got my signal, walked back, and I'm like, oh, son of a bitch, that's the news. And then I saw the second tower hit. And I'm like, crap. So I go back. I'm gonna go running in, and I'm like, gee, we're under attack. And nobody in that room knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They couldn't grab. And I called the reserve center, and like, where do you need me? What because up there we got nuclear plants. So I knew that those nuclear plants are going to they're going to have to get covered. That's just that's what we do. I'm like, let's go. What do you need? The staff sergeant on the phone goes, hey, if we need a band guide, we'll let you know, man. Click.
Oh, jeez.
Dude, I felt worthless. I'm like, wow, gosh, I'm out here in no man's land, and I kid you not, maybe.
Now, were you the only one out there?
I was the only one out there.
Oh, wow.
And maybe 3 minutes later, a sergeant major called. Don't listen to that jackass. Hey, man, I appreciate you checking in. So we're good now. Keep your phone on you.
Yeah.
What I know you're gonna say, what do you got? You guys, I have cameras. I'll call you if I need it. Now, they never called, but I appreciated that sergeant major.
Absolutely. Good for him to do that.
Because for a staff sergeant to make me another, I'm like, you have got to be kidding me in there. But they didn't need it. But that was a tough time. But and then we got through that. And then the Marine Corps was introducing, McMath. And I'm like, and I'm hearing about people, us old guys, dying, shoulder breaks. And I'm like, what the hell? I get out. I'm gonna have to go back and get broken. What? I don't know if I'm gonna like this, but just so many changes, that year off in there. But I tell you what, I think if we all could take a year off in there, I think it made you appreciate your brethren and your experience that much better in there.
Yeah.
But I think that little test, I think that got me thinking about retirement when the time came. That mentally I had to be prepared and have a plan, and that plan was, like you said, I was already doing this. I was volunteering. Right. Whoever needed help, I was there. I was giving lessons in schools. If we had extra reads here we go. These were extra surplus. But we were helping with the Dodge schools. We had, like here, I hate Dermo. Dermo drives me nuts. The way the Marine Corps worked out was, we have a 7-year plan. I'm having to throw away perfectly good instruments, and they're just going to get melted down. But if you had a Dodge program near you, well, I just had to do a transfer of custody.
Yeah.
And these kids are getting these phenomenal instruments, and they're great.
I mean, professional grade instruments,
Yeah, they were great for us, but it's all a money thing. If you don't replace the instruments, your money's going to go. It is what it is. And there's lots of opportunities to help, but that was my saving grace of it was a very, very smooth transition. I watch Marines now, bandsmen retire. I have them in this area. Not very smooth. They don't have that purpose in life, or they can't let go because they don't have a purpose. They can't let go of the Marine Corps. And I'm like, guys, I said, I love the Marine Corps. Once a Marine, always a Marine. I said, I got it. Live, eat, breathe it. But that being said, you have to be able to turn off the switch.
Yeah.
You have to be able to be a civilian in there, or
very true.
You're going to stick out, or you're going to get in trouble, or unfortunately we've seen the bad side of when they can't cope, and service members take their lives. Pains me. I always felt that as easy as my transition was, that's a rarity. I'd say a very small percentage of us were able to do it.
Yeah.
Hopefully that number's getting bigger, but the military, I think, needs to do a better job of helping.
Yeah, they are doing a better job. I won't say it's a perfect system or anything, but they are doing better at prepping everybody. The requirements of going to the classes and different things like that, and all the opportunities that are there. Now, not everybody takes advantage of the opportunities.
There it is.
But it's there, right? They can't necessarily, well, I guess they can kind of force stuff on you, but not everything, right? And there's tons of organizations that are there to help. It's just a matter of reaching out and asking for help. And of course, military guys, we're proud. We don't like to ask for help. So, but it is better, though.
The VA one was a great one. That was a wonderful. The transition stuff, I didn't have to take advantage. I already knew I was going to be repairing. That was no big deal. But they got me on that. The year I retired, 2 weeks before I retired, when Congress passed, you could give your GI Bill to your kids. But they told me I'd be grandfathered.
Yeah.
I said, guys, I retired in 2 weeks. I'm not doing 2 more years. I'm done.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm out. Yeah, just change over to post 9/11. You're gonna be grandfathered.
Did that happen?
Nope. I've been fighting them for 10 years. It's a no. I'm too old for that. And then there's that very short time when President Trump did the for life, the GI Bill for life thing. I don't qualify for that. So I've got I believe mine expires in September of 26 at this point. Now, my wife was allowed to give ours to our daughter. And so I've got some phenomenal boys. They've been with me for like 4 years working in the music store. They They saw the store. I remember they reached out on the website from the local high school. One of them's my apprentice.
Nice.
This kid's going to blow circles around me as a repairman. He's just solid. Michael McKinley, very gifted on the guitar side. He's doing all my luthier work and stuff. And when things get settled, I'm going to send them to schools and make them better. We're trying to become as sharp of a double-edged sword as we can. We can offer all these different services, and but I need to use that money before it's gone. And Aaron's like, "Well, I'll do business." I'm sure I would learn something, but I've been in business for 15 years. I think we're okay. I mean, and I went the thought of going and doing micro and macroeconomics and I'm like, now and then and I almost did it. I remember I was in a pizza place in there, and I was just killing some time. We're waiting for another appointment, so I went to pizza, and I was sitting there, and I was looking through the local college for the business, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I mean, I need to. Why? Don't put your ego away. You'll learn something. And one of the little cute little teeny bopper, she looks over my shoulder and she goes, "Oh, are you going to go to USCB? I'm going to go. We're going to be classmates." And I went, "Nope."
Close.
I'm out. That was like 10 years ago. Well, now it's getting close. So they opened a multi-million-dollar state-of-art culinary school on the Technical College of Low Country, and I'm just dangerous. On man, I can. If you ever get on this way, dude, I'll cook for you. We smoke some killer meats on the grill, and just loving it, and everyone enjoys the food. And I went, man, imagine if I knew what I was actually doing.
Yeah.
So I went and talked to them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, dude, you have just enough time to finish the degree, and and I'll maybe honest with you, it's because with the post 9/11, you get the you get your housing, the BH part, all that in there, and it's a pretty penny." And I went, well, I tried. I would rather give it to my wife, who is finishing her master's. Master's is not very cheap at all.
Yeah.
We're paying for that's like $2,500 a course, which is fine. Yeah. I pay it. Life's good. But I figured I'll go and learn how to cook, and I'll get a degree in culinary arts, and I'll take that money and whatever it is at the end, it goes in a savings account, and then I will divvy it up, and I will give it to my two daughters. This was for you anyway. That was my intent. Yeah. Don't blow it. I mean, it's your money. You do what you want, but go invest it.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm going to do from here.
That's pretty smart. I like that.
But the boys cover, again, I'm not trying to do anything shady. It's just, I tried for many years, they're like, you got to call your congressman. I'm not going to call my congressman about the VA. I'm sorry, guy. There's maybe some, though. That's not my cup of tea. I asked nicely. They said no. Okay, well, I will go to school. I'll learn a skill set. My boys said they will cover the store for me during this transition in there. So it's been a blessed life up there. Got a good family, got a good church life. We got it's a great community. Again, though, I'm thankful for the Marine Corps, because none of this would have happened.
Oh yeah.
If I would have just went to a conservatory of music, who knows what I would have become.
Yeah, very true. Yeah. Wow. Well, hey, what would you have to say to everybody, especially those that are, preparing to get out or are just gotten out or whatever, and they're starting their veteran, paths? What type of advice do you have for those guys?
I would say is this is a great time for some self-reflection, and have some patience with it. Just know that if you haven't already seen it, you're going to find it real fast that the civilian world does not run at the pace that the Marine Corps or the Navy or the Army or any service branch runs. We can make fun of them all. We're all brethren and we all love each other. I said, but it's easy to make fun of the coasties, but we all run at an incredible, ridiculous pace. And when you stop running or try to stop running, because you don't really stop in there, it takes a long time. And you really need to have, some of that patience and that flexibility and that mindset that you, and the willingness to make a change, because this is a big effort to step out of here.
Yeah.
And you're going to step out sometime, be it 20 years, be it 30 years, you're going to have to step out. And, but the sooner you can have it doesn't have to be a plan necessarily, but as soon as you can have something, a goal, something to look forward to that will keep you driving forward. Because if you don't have that, you get out with no plan, you're going to get caught.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of guys will get out of it. That's fine. But we're talking a 50-50 here. Once you get in that funk and you don't have that purpose in life because you didn't plan accordingly in there, you're either going to get out of it or you're not. And we've seen the guys that don't get out of it. Either they become alcoholics, or they get in trouble, or they commit suicide, or and you want to be there for them. But once they're in it, it's almost too late.
Yeah.
For us. And we're trying to save who we can in here, but I've always believed, not everybody's religious in there. It's my faith also helped in my transition.
Yeah.
What faith means to somebody can be many, many, many different things. Whatever you're, but you have to believe something, and you have to put something in place. Or we're just going to literally, the worst thing you could do to a military member is let them transition out and they're just treading water. Because if they don't have a purpose, they're going to sink in there. But if they can reach out, if you retire in an area it's easy if you retire in an area that has veterans in it around there. I mean, that's easier than if you're going to go into, let's just say, I don't know, the middle of Montana. Yeah, it's you and 1,000 acres, or Alaska. You better have a pretty solid plan.
Yeah,
if you're going to do that. But that's all I'd say is, and never be afraid to ask for help. Maybe it might be hard to ask. It might be about talking to your family, or you don't want to ask for help from your if you're in time. But there's so many outlets out there for veterans that they live, eat, breathe that is put our egos in check. It's okay. It's okay to ask for help if you need it, because there will always be somebody, be it somebody you served with, that veteran at the local VFW, just his sole purpose in life is waiting for you to walk in the door so he can help you.
Yeah.
That's
very true. Yeah.
It's out there. It's the guys who just aren't willing to ask for it. Those are the ones that break my heart.
Yeah.
But
yeah, absolutely.
It can all be avoided, I think, if you have a plan. Knowing, plans change, but it's how we.
It's true.
How do we bounce from it? It's fine. Right. I've surrounded. I'd say my success has been, I have surrounded myself by great friends. A lot of them are Marines. Dan Keynes, Chris McNally's. I can travel this world and I have a place to go.
Yeah.
And visit. And we keep contact with those in there, and they all the same thing. They all know they could. I don't sleep. They just have to call I'm up. I only sleep a couple hours a night anyway. So I'm like, what do you need? I've gone to help Dan repair instruments. Craziness, but it's what we do. We help each other out.
That's right.
But that's all we can do. But Yeah, that's all I would suggest was just, have some, if you don't want to get plan, have an idea, a direction,
Yeah.
something. And if you can't figure it out, then talk to somebody. And hell, if you're married, they're going to tell you what you're going to do anyway. So
That's a true statement.
it's easy then. I'm not saying go get married for that, but but yeah. And the ones I really feel for are the ones who have families. That's that transition's tough. Especially if there's kids involved, and the stresses. Are we going to have enough money to cover up? Yes, just be smart. Our retirement, if we're smart, our retirement's enough to hold us. But
yeah,
I used our retirement as not as so much that was my livelihood. That was my retirement was a great stepping block to buy me time to do what I wanted to do and what I loved to do. If I didn't have that, and I just had to immediately go get a job, I don't know, things could have been different. But our retirement does help.
Yeah,
in there. Our broken bodies, though. Woo! I don't know, man.
So, every day, something new. It's good.
Yes. So.
Oh man. Well, hey, Jamie, I want to say thanks for coming on. Thanks for doing this. And just real quick, I want to do a little spot for your music store. So you got Hamner Music, and you're down. And where is that located again?
We're in Beaufort, South Carolina.
Okay.
Right on Boundary Street. We are catty corner right now to the National Cemetery. If you're headed into Beaufort, you can't miss us. We're on the right. Come see us. I love that. I love people come. I don't care if people buy stuff. To be honest with you. I just like people to come in and enjoy the experience. There. And man, we have some great coffee. I have a local musician who roasts his own coffee, and I'll be darned if he didn't spoil me, because now I can't drink anyone else's coffee. I'm like, man, killing me. It's good stuff though. But yeah, no, Beaufort's great. And if they tell me they heard my name through you, we'll give them a heck of a deal.
All right. Well, there you go. You heard it here. All right. Just mention that you heard it through the podcast, and he's gonna help you out. So, but yeah, thanks again, Jamie. Thanks for what you did and what you're doing. You're doing fantastic things. I appreciate it. But yeah, it's been fabulous getting to meet you.
Yes, sir.
Like I said before we started, I've known your name for years and years. First time we've ever got to actually meet. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Small world. Well, if you ever find yourself in Beaufort, let me know. I will. I got a driveway. You park right on and have a good time.
All right. That sounds fantastic. Well, hey, to all the listeners out there, if you're struggling, you need help, anything like that, don't forget that the VA does have some great resources. You can dial 988, press option 1. You can text 838-255, or you can go to veteranscrisisline.net, click on that chat icon. Any of those options are going to put you in contact with somebody that can help you out. But remember, one veteran life loss is one too many. I care about you. I know Jamie cares about you. The whole veteran community cares about you. So please reach out for help. And if you're out there, you're not struggling, you're doing good, then reach out to your buddies that you serve with and ask them how they're doing. And if they need that helping hand, please give it to them. All right. One last time, Jamie, thank you. I appreciate you. To all the listeners, stay motivated, change your socks.